What is a hydrangea bobo? First off, hydrangea bobo are adorable dwarf hydrangeas that put on a fantastic show of blooms. They're smothered in big, white puffball flowers that turn a pretty pink over time. They really are the stars of my garden in the summer. Hydrangea bobo versus little lime. I've had both hydrangea bobo and little lime in my garden. Bobo's compact size is perfect for small spaces, but I love how little lime hydrangeas blooms transition from lime green to pink as they mature, adding a vibrant touch to my landscape. When does bobo hydrangea bloom? Speaking of summer, that's when my bobos come alive. From June all the way until the first frost, they're constantly covered in blooms. It's a real treat. When to prune bobo hydrangea? Now, I've learned the hard way that pruning these in spring is a no-no. You might accidentally snip off the new buds that will become those gorgeous flowers. I wait until late winter or early spring to trim mine. How big does bobo hydrangea get? My bobos are on the smaller side, maybe reaching about 3 feet tall at most. They're perfect for edging a flower bed or lining a walkway. How to prune bobo hydrangea? How to prune bobo hydrangea for winter? The good news is, pruning bobo hydrangeas for both winter and throughout the year follows a similar approach. Here's what I've learned. General bobo hydrangea pruning. Timing is key. Wait until late winter or early spring before new growth explodes. Pruning in spring accidentally removes the buds that would become those beautiful blooms. Gather your tools, grab some sharp hand pruners, and make sure they're clean to avoid spreading disease. Look at the overall shape. Bobo hydrangeas are naturally compact, so we're aiming for a light trim to keep things neat and encourage bushier growth. Snip, snip. For most branches, remove about 1/3 of the length with a clean cut just above a bud, those little bumps on the stem. This promotes new growth and bushier blooms. Out with the old. Completely remove any dead, diseased, or scraggly branches. The same goes for branches that crisscross and make the bush look messy. Winter pruning, basically the same. Since bobos are pretty winter hardy, there's no need for a drastic winter prune. You can mostly leave them be. But if you see any obvious dead or broken branches during your late winter/early spring pruning, go ahead and remove them then. So really, winter pruning for bobos is more like a light tidy up while you're doing your main pruning for the year. Can bobo hydrangea grow in shade? Actually, I planted mine in a spot that gets morning sun and afternoon shade. They seem happy there, and the blooms still come out beautifully. Can bobo hydrangea take full sun? Full sun isn't a problem either. I have a friend who planted hers in a sunnier spot, and they're thriving. Maybe the blooms get a touch bigger in full sun, but I wouldn't worry about it either way. Does bobo hydrangea bloom on new wood? One interesting thing I learned is that bobo hydrangeas bloom on new wood. That means the buds that will become flowers form on the branches that grow that same year. How far apart to plant bobo hydrangea? Spacing-wise, I left about 3 feet between mine when I planted them. They filled out nicely, but you could probably squeeze them in a bit tighter if you're short on space. How fast does bobo hydrangea grow? Growth-wise, they're not super fast, but they do put on a good 1 or 2 each year. Mine have gotten to their mature size in about 3 years. Why are my bobo hydrangea leaves turning yellow? Now, yellowing leaves can be a sign of a few things. I had to check mine once when the leaves started to look a bit sad, and it turned out they were just a bit thirsty. Upped the watering a bit, and they perked right back up. Why is my bobo hydrangea not blooming? As for not blooming, that could be a couple of reasons. Like I mentioned, maybe some spring pruning accidentally took off the flower buds. Or, if they're not getting enough sun, that could affect blooming too.